Hi
Hello.
everybody, and welcome to another perfect, perfectly imperfect Cosmic Sis-Stars Show with Corinne and Anne. And today we will journey. Yeah, that was funny. Today we journey into the heart of the Celestine Prophecy. So there are 12 insights, and today is going to be number 7. The Celestine Prophecy by James Redfield. And today we talk about the connection with others. Energy again, right?
Mhm.
Relationships aren't just emotional bonds. They are energetic exchanges that fuel our spiritual evolution. As we learn to truly see and honor one another, we unlock a powerful flow of energy that uplifts, heals, and transforms. And sometimes maybe we feel a little bit of the opposite, but that's a part of it, right? So
Yes.
join us as we explore how conscious connection can elevate our lives, deepen our intuition, and align us with the divine synchronicity of the universe. And as I said, today we have Wednesday, August 13th in US and Europe, and Thursday, August 14th in Australia, down under. And we discuss the Celestine Prophecy by James Redfield, Insight 7, the connection with others. Sorry, can't say anything right today. Maybe that's a part of the journey.
Mercury. Mercury.
Yes, relationships are vital for energy exchange, and that is also intriguing. So we launched a 12-part series in May this year where we dive deep into the Celestine Prophecy by James Redfield. And throughout the year, we will explore its insights and real world applications. And I can assure everyone listening that we sure do. We live it. We walk our talk. Join the journey, and we stream the series twice a month, so every 2 weeks, and embark on this journey together with us. You can find upcoming and past episodes at angelplaceonearth.com/upcoming dash past. And you can find our series, which now this is our second series. The first one we did in the beginning of this year, 2025, and that is the 4 agreements, and that's stunning too. So our series can be found at angelplaceonearth.com/series dash cosmic dash guardians. And our last show, last Wednesday, August 6th, was about breaking free, clearing, cleansing, and overcoming blocks and restrictions. Intriguing show. So if you missed that, you can find it at angelplaceonearth.com/ sorry, I have to go back a bit. My fault. So many dashes and everything.
Oh, it is.
angelplaceonearth.com/series dash cosmic dash guardians. And we always have, we go live on YouTube, on youtube.com/at angelplaceonearth/streams. And there you can find all our past episodes as well. So,
Perfect.
um, is there anything else? I think we're ready to dive deep.
Well, that's beautiful. As long as I don't have to say dash and dot and slash and that's incredible. Again, as always, the universe says, Karine, I want you to really understand what you're talking about this week. So we are just going to slap you with all kinds of interesting scenarios. Thank you, universe. The process of our self evolution, through these insights, it has given us a way to find out there is a light at the end of the tunnel. The synchronicity of becoming aware that we are guided can move us more easily into our unknown. As we discover ourselves, our spiritual see there our spirituality can awaken and evolve. And this is a quote from the book itself. The process of finding your true spiritual identity involves looking into the whole life as one long story. Trying to find a higher meaning begins by asking ourselves, why did I choose this family? What purpose does it have? And what is my purpose? And these lessons can be learned while we're dealing with the dynamics of our parents and basically put us on a path of our own self discovery. And we always have choices. We can either stay in the drama and the trauma or allow our own personal evolution to emerge. And
Exactly.
I'm watching this happen. I'm living it. And as we have both said, we read this book many years ago, and it is as relevant now as it was then, and it always will be because this stuff doesn't change. You know, this has
No,
meaning.
it doesn't change, and it's so funny. I read all the books and I watched the movie multiple times. Can be found actually on YouTube, being watched for free. Um, but it's so valid because it's, the foundation of what we need to know and what we have to work with. A lot of people are looking out there, but we need to start here. And I've
Absolutely.
been doing that too in the past. Believe me, after having read books, studied, um, digged into deep stuff, after a year and a half, I said to myself, well, I got it. I'm ready. I got it. I only scratched
Oops.
the surface because it's a deep, long, lifelong process, to be honest. And sometimes we can encounter what we label as something, oh boy, is that coming back to me again?
Right.
And and it probably does, but at a deeper level,
Yes.
so
And
we can
we
fully understand.
right. We've been talking about the four agreements, and they are very very valid in helping us navigate. However, when we dive into the Celestine Prophecy, it goes a little deeper. And if I may, I'm going to quote from the book again because I mean, when you have a brilliant writer, you might as well acknowledge it. And he says, "We are not merely the physical creation of our parents. We are also the spiritual creation. We were born to these two people, and their lives have an effect on who we are. To discover your real self, you must admit that the real you began in a position between their truths." So, what was their energy? What were they trying to accomplish? And we're that product, and we're trying to learn. And we'll talk more about that. How we become our path from having gleaned from their energies. This
Yes,
is why you were born here, to take a higher perspective of what they stood for and create your own path. Your path is about discovering the truth that is a higher synthesis of the two people that you lived with. And that's pretty profound when you understand that the energy dynamics, and then you throw in the uh, personalities, you throw in their culture and stuff like that, and that's where the four agreements help us kind of navigate through all of that. It's like swimming upstream,
yes,
you know. But this it's all about our evolution, finding
yes, it is. And
our truth.
I hear a lot of people stating that I have so many bad experience from relationships, so I'm afraid
Yeah.
of interacting or finding someone new romantically or friends or whatever. But here's the thing: relationships, yeah, they may trigger us sometimes, but I mean, they are worth millions
Yes.
in the sense that we can understand things within ourselves, right? Because
Yes.
we still have to grow and polish that inner core and inner diamond until we become that master of ourselves, where we see things without judging, we encounter things without judging. We may state things because maybe we need to, that's a different thing, right? But we
Yeah.
still don't judge, right?
Right.
um, and you cannot do that. So the easy way would be to go and live out in the woods or on a mountaintop or something like that, but then we
Right.
have no interaction. So we are going to dig in, use what we are getting.
Exactly. And there again, it's a choice. Do you want to keep playing the same tape over and over, or do you finally say, like in Groundhog Day, every time that he steps in that hole of water, then finally, after about the third or fourth time, he goes, go around it, change
Yes,
your MO. And we have that choice, but we have to find a truth within ourselves that says, what I'm doing is not working, so let me try a different tack. Um, After my divorce, uh, I didn't date for quite a while, and then when I did, I started noticing a pattern that it was a different man, but he had same characteristics, and I was falling into that. What would you like to do? And losing myself. And I said, I need to find me before I find a we.
yes,
And I started doing my homework. And when I meet someone, I am hoping that they have done their internal homework to find their authenticity. So so we're not going through I wonder if and everything else. But we have that choice. And at some time, when you get tired of Groundhog Day over and over and over,
yeah,
you have to make that choice.
exactly. And human connection is a very powerful force, woven into our emotional, spiritual, and even physical well-being. So,
Hmm.
at its core, every relationship functions as an energetic exchange, a subtle,
Absolutely.
invisible flow that influences how we think, feel, and act in the world. And because it's very human, we want to feel on the good side on all things, right? So,
Yep.
when we encounter stuff that feels uncomfortable, we label that as negative, and we want just like take me away from here. But there's a lot of information going on in there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
Beam
it
me up.
doesn't
Beam me
mean
up,
that,
Scotty.
yeah, but it doesn't mean that we should blame either ourselves as well, right? Because maybe we have to respond to something, maybe we have to say something. That's a different thing.
Yeah.
But it's how your personal response, not the response to someone else, the personal response you have towards yourself to feel comfortable with
Yes,
what you have said or whatever, right?
that's true. And when we start allowing, and I love the word allow, when we start allowing ourselves to embrace all our new discoveries, and find that connection with our authentic truth, this opens up amazing pathways. It allows you to touch the field, the oneness. This is all the same thing, but it means that energy that is all around us. that we are not constantly tapping into. And from this, our intuition begins to grow. And I know we've all had hunches of, well, I should do this. Nah, I shouldn't do that. And we may follow one or the other and then find out what the consequences is. Well, guess what? I argued with myself this week because I needed to experience the seventh insight. Thank you very much. And I had a situation that came up that uh, in some way set off alarms within my own self. And I kept asking myself, this is out of character with the other person. Where is it coming from? And I kept going, where is it coming from? Where is it coming from? And my gut said, handle this very diplomatically. The other part says, no, I'm going to be human and I'm going to have a human experience and I'm going to do it. And then my gut says, no, I don't think you want to do that. Well, I am. And I did. So I had a human experience. and and, I responded in a way that unfortunately must have hit every trigger for this other person. And it was a complete blow up on her part. And then afterwards I said, hey, let's start over again. You know, I overreacted and everything else, but it's hard putting the water back in the bottle after you spilt it. But we have that choice, and our gut says, you don't want to do that. And this says, yeah, I do. And these actually are nudges toward your intuition. However, because I went out of my energy realm, I responded not from energy, but from reactive thing. So I admit I had a human moment and I apologize to the world, but that is, that's learning. And then I said, oh, darn it, why didn't I listen to my gut?
Yeah.
But we have those choices, and there are consequences. So,
Yeah,
but
there are
intuition is,
consequences. And
yeah,
yeah,
intuition is far more than just lucky guesses, though. You know.
well, you're not the only one. I don't always listen to my intuition either, and it doesn't really go very well. Like last summer, a broken leg. Good
Well,
on me.
it was like I was expressing to my daughter. I said, well, I really, I really, you know, went into the frying pan. And then I have this sign on my wall and it says, manure occurreth. And out of that, great flowers grow. But I said, I really, really put a lot of manure on that, and a lot of manure occurreth. And now I, I don't know what is going to, come from this, um, but that is the beauty of living our lives authentically, because we do have our human moments. We do have our enlightened spiritual moments. And that's okay. That there's no judgment. There's just experience. And
Yeah. And
so,
sometimes maybe we have to because we are living here. We are souls having a human experience. We are
yes,
not saints while we're here, are we?
thank goodness. I wouldn't like me as a saint. Very boring. Yeah.
Me neither. But it's that was a very deep, energetic exchange in a relationship, right?
Yes.
That involved someone, but also involved someone that wasn't really guilty of anything.
And that's
And
that's
that is
that's
the hard.
right. And
Yeah.
in this situation, um, this wonderful uh, man who has some mental limitations, and he lovingly comes and helps me do the yard work, and he loves it. He sits in the yard and he says, "I need my garden time," and so forth. And we've been working together for quite a while, and the other person involved has kind of authority over everything that he does, and he made a mistake, and her anger at him was that he had to give me some information that was not pleasant. And then when I responded to that with her comment was, well, he's never going to be allowed to come over there again. But he was hurt so bad that she was hurting me, and then he's the one that's paying the price. And I realized that the only way that she could get back at him was for him to physically or give me this information to try and hurt me. And when you start looking at relationships, and as I said, I kept saying, this is out of character. Why is this happening? And had I found that answer before I interacted with her, I would have been able to handle it a different way, because I would have seen that that was what she was trying to create, that drama and that trauma, to hurt him and not take it personally. which which I'm sorry, folks, I stepped out of character and I did take it personally. Um, but had I stepped into my intuition and my clarity and stayed with the energy, I would have resolved that just as I did, that was the underlying cause of what was going on, and I would have responded differently. So this is why I'm
Yeah.
saying this is valid, but
Yes.
staying in that energy is vital. It's vital.
Yeah. You could have picked up that the intentions coming from this person was not very, very pure, and you would have been able to manage that differently.
Differently. The
Exactly.
whole scenario, and I probably would not have manure occurring all over the place. And but but that was apparently that was another uh, opportunity for me to grow in realizing how important it is to stay in the calmness.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. You know, you're going to like this. Energy as emotion and intuition. Yeah. When we connect with others, we transmit and receive more than just words. The
absolutely.
energy, we are picking things up, right?
Yes,
We don't always listen as we just talked about, but we pick things up. Every interaction carries emotional frequency. A laugh shared in passing can brighten someone's day, while a compassionate hug during grief may offer quiet healing.
that's true.
And other things on the more negative side, right? These
Ex- ex-
moments creates ripples that extend beyond the surface, affecting both individuals in ways that might not be immediately visible.
yes,
Yeah.
that's
So
that's
yeah,
very much true. Yeah,
and a little bit of science behind energy exchange. I find that
I love it.
uh,
Love it.
interesting too. Sorry. Studies in neurobiology and psychology have shown how relationships shape brain chemistry.
Hmm.
It says something here. Oxy,
oxytocin, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
The
thank
happy
you.
drug.
The
Yeah, the happy, yeah,
the
yeah.
the bonding hormone floods our system during intimate or trust-filled moments,
Hmm.
enhancing feelings of connection and safety. This biochemical shift is part of the energy exchange that strengthens bonds and nurtures
Yes.
resilience.
Yes,
Interesting.
and it's and a woman that's carrying a baby, it increases, so that bond is even more flowing. And it's interesting speaking about how we our emotions and the emotions, the energy is going to be exchanged far before the emotion even catches up. Meaning, the frustration that you're feeling, that's already putting energy into the energy field, and that also is affecting you, and it's affecting everything around it. And it's interesting because in the book there's a situation where John, the hero, is he and two other men have to make a decision to go somewhere that could end with their death or imprisonment. And he says to them, he says, how can you be so calm? And their response was, don't confuse calmness with being careless.
Yeah.
Because when we are calm, we can stay connected to our divinity, to our intuition. When we are careless and start having random thoughts about, oh, this could happen, that could happen, and everything else, then we end up spreading manure. Uh, and 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 it can happen. And learning to stay within your center in dilemma. People will sometimes say to me, how can I have this calmness around me when there is so much going on in the world? And I said, I cannot be of service if I play into that chaos. If I stay calm, then I can think calmly. I can send calm energy, but I can't if I get all involved in the personal stuff that's going on. So this stuff really works, folks, and I just wish I could have had an easier example. But
Yeah, but it happens, and it's always interesting because we are being given, as you said before, not just we are giving hints, everything, right, to see what's going on. And it is valuable because we dare to interact with others, right?
Mhm.
But also, sometimes a lot of people in this world may not have the purest intentions, and that is
Yes,
for someone like us trying to work with ourselves and doing our journey.
yes.
Like it can feel like, have you ever seen Donald Duck in a cartoon when he's angry?
Oh yes.
Sometimes I can feel like that. Give me
Yeah,
a
yeah.
break.
I probably looked just like that when I was, writing this letter, but it was, but I am also having the human experience, and
Yes, you
uh,
are.
and the thing is that when you do have, as I call them, a human experience, and you also are on the path of self-awareness and authenticity, you may do the act and then you go, okay, I need to resolve this now. I'm not going to let it linger. I'm not going to let it go. And make that effort to at least resolve it on your part, which I did. And
Yeah,
because it was no different than a child that spills their drink. And instead of screaming at the child, look what you did, you're stupid, you're clumsy, just saying, which I learned with my sixth child, is just hand them a cloth. And even if they make a bigger mess, they're learning this when that happens, this is what you do. And it's giving them a way to handle a situation instead of just, beating down on them. So this is where, when you embark on this journey, you can catch things quicker and
Yeah,
resolve them and not let them become a huge trauma, big spooky
exactly.
thing.
That is how war comes about, by the way.
Yeah.
It starts with something we are in disagreement about something, and if you don't think and trying to take responsibility in a spiritual sense, it can lead to big conflict in the end, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. But
And
that's not going to happen to you because that's not you.
well, as I said, I so enjoy uh, what we're doing because it really, the universe says, "Hey, we're helping you. We're going to let we're going to let you live this one, and we're going to let you experience it. And it's been a while since you've dusted off your gifts on this. So here, let's just give you this big pile, and you can just do whatever you want with it." And
Exactly.
I thank the universe. I really do. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
And the celestial, there are many spiritual teachings who have their own perception and view about relationships and how essential that is,
Yes.
and all of that good stuff. The Celestine Prophecy suggests that interactions with others serve as mirrors, and we talked a lot about that before.
Yeah.
So it's a reflection on the outside, coming to you not as a judgment or a punishment or anything else or a good thing. It's coming to you so you can look within and reflect. And that's exactly what you did. So good on you,
Yeah.
helping us to see, helping us to see deeper truths about ourselves and our journey by
Yes.
tuning into this energetic interplay. Just let me finish. Sorry.
No, no,
But
no.
by
I'm
tuning
just
into this
enjoying.
energetic interplay, we become more mindful of the synchronicities that guide us toward growth and purpose.
Yes, I wasn't going to say anything. I was just in the moment there because that is so true. That is so true. And but it takes courage to look in the mirror,
Yeah, it does.
you know?
But you are a courageous woman, and so am I, right?
Oh, our tenacity just keeps us going, you
But
know?
here's also, um, conscious communication, and this starts to get interesting now because we're coming to the other end, not so pleasant.
Yeah,
Conscious communication enhances exchange. So not all energy exchanges are uplifting, and
that's
we
right.
can sign that one, right? Toxic relationships, unresolved conflict, misaligned values can drain our vitality. This makes intentional, heart centered communication crucial, coming from your heart as you did in the end.
Hmm.
Listening deeply, expressing ourselves clearly, and engaging with empathy are tools that help ensure our energetic bonds are healthy and sustainable.
Wow. No words were true or spoken because in the process of evolution, it is bumping up against something that gives us resistance and then resolving how to solve it. And when you do that, each time you do that, it's like lifting weights. You become better at resolving and better at finding the issue. And as I said, had I stayed in my clarity and not reacted, I could have resolved the core issue far before I upset the apple cart, so to speak. again, uh,
Sending you heart.
yes, again, I say divine timing. So it has. I am not going. Wow, that was terrible. The world is coming to an end. I said, okay, divine timing, and it happened. So it must have happened because something else is going to come from this. I mean, growth, growth.
I have something that came to me.
Good.
Um, because it's not always only what happens with us, because we
Ex-
are we are not alone, we are interacting, right?
exactly.
Sometimes us having a not so positive experience may actually be something that someone else may need to see for their own journey. So we
That's
are
exactly
all
right.
playing parts in this,
Yes.
right? So my
Absolutely.
senses tells me that this lady, she's a very strong character, what I'm picking up.
Yeah.
And she's not going to take no for an answer. She wants to rule.
Mhm.
And I'm not judging her when I say that. It feels
No.
like she probably haven't heard someone talk against her.
No, I don't think so.
No, no. So maybe she needed that. So don't blame yourself.
Yeah. Well, as I said, if I really believe that we have this divine timing, we have this intuition, and that we are part of this incredible journey to assist others and assist ourselves on this, then it was what the dynamics needed at that time. And
Yeah.
as I said, being able to respond quickly and go, okay, let's take the sting out of this. That is when you start evolving. You see,
Yes.
you don't just go into your little hole and say, oh, there's everything else. So I I don't like. I'd rather look in the mirror than I would go and step into the closet of shadows.
Exactly. And my experience, and of course I'm talking for people now, not everybody is like that, but a lot of people actually, when I talk to them, they turn around things that are onto them very, very often.
Yep.
That person didn't call me. What's wrong with me? Right? They said that to me. What's wrong with me? But we have also to understand that, we grow that self sense. And we are not alone in the flow, the energetic flow of this world. So we are interacting all the time. And you said something bright to me last summer when I broke my leg. You said maybe you gave someone the opportunity to take care of you. I probably did, right?
That's true. I mean, it was a little harsh, but but there again, the interactions that we have energetically with other people, we may not know all the little ins and outs of what that is. And by allowing ourselves to be part of the process and not making judgments when we, go human or something, uh, there again, we have made that connection. And I could tell from the texts that she continued to write, it was harder and harder for her to keep that stern discipline. I could
Yeah.
tell in her writings that something had shifted, and so if it took me going ballistic, is what she needed and the energy was saying this is what is needed. You know, this is the beauty of allowing. This is the beauty of after the fireworks are over, not going and sitting there saying, "Well, I should have, I could have, and doing that self incrimination because, oh, humans are really good at that.
very good at that. And there's no purpose doing that actually, because you go through something and you take the learning. You can say like I would have said with the leg, I should have listened to myself.
Oh yeah, I said that a lot
But
yesterday.
I yeah, my higher self came knocking on my shoulder and I said, hey, not right now.
Hey, I mean, what can I say?
Yeah,
It's this beautiful melody that we're playing, and uh, being able to thinking of surfing, that's coming into my mind, how they follow the wave, and and then sometimes they get splashed upon, and sometimes they get squashed, and sometimes it's just that long smooth sail. And working with energy is the same. And when it gets a little ruffled, that's when you find yourself a quiet space and reconnect with that divinity, because that divinity, again, through the third eye, is what connects you with what is really real. And we're all on this journey. We're all in different spots and places, but that interaction that we have with other people is critical.
yeah, it is. And I usually state it in this manner. We are living in a world where we naturally and should exchange energy all the time, right? We
Mhm.
do that.
Yes.
But with that also comes um, the sense that you want to understand it, how you react to it, how you respond, because someone who may not want to work on themselves may easier get stuck in something, and they are thoughts are kind of coming and going all the time, and they
Hmm.
can't take their mind out of a situation, right? While when you work on yourself, you go through it, you leave it that space, and then you detach from it and you can see it in a different light, right? So it,
Yeah.
it is like mastering things, and it doesn't come to the place where grudges ever are held and nurtured and energized, right, and
Mm-mm.
focused upon, because that's not going to bring anything good. That's how war comes, right?
Yes. Yes. And being able to be in the flow, I that is such a beautiful expression, because energy is flowing. And another thing, that as children we are openly communicating with each other and learning, and going ah. And as we get older, with the influence of what we came in the world with, we learn to be more stingy
Yeah,
with sharing that information. And then there's times when we share it, and then somebody throws it back in our face, so we go, oh, I'm not going to do that again, because that was not fun. This is where your intuition, staying in the flow, your intuition is going to gently guide you. It's okay to say hello to this particular person, because there might be something they need to hear, or it might be something you need to hear. So learning to trust your intuition takes you beyond all the limitations that are have set our life in motion, and
yeah,
and being able to move beyond those. And you're still going to stub your toe now and then, but you just go, oh, blah 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 blah, and then keep on going. you know.
exactly. So, um, relationships in general, they invite us to a rhythm, like we are dancing together,
Hmm. Yeah,
a dance of mutual influence and co-creation.
exactly, exactly. And it's
And that is
interesting.
beautiful.
It's interesting that you say that, because in my couples encounter that I like to present, um, I help couples learn how to put true intimacy back into their relationship. And one of the exercises that I have them do to start again feeling the energy between them, not the sexual attraction, but real energy. And I have them stand maybe 8 inches apart, close their eyes, and then dance with each other. I said, wait until you feel the energy. And then all of a sudden they're moving in synchronicity. They're going this way and this way, and the other one is too, because they can feel it like glue. So it moves. And this is how palatable energy is. Um, at meditation, sometimes I'll have my students hold their hands like this until they feel little tinglies between, and then gradually moving them out. And then they start to play with the energy. And when you start realizing that this is tangible, it's not somebody's imagination, it's like, wow, wow. And this is what this is all about.
Exactly. And it's not just the presence in relationships, it's acknowledging each other, it's seeing each other. And that's something you taught me. So beautiful. I see you.
I
That's
see you.
fantastic.
Yes.
So, we discover our energy with what you said. We discover the energy exchange with someone else. And that helps us expand. And also, we see the other person differently. We see them for who they are in that moment,
Yeah.
uh, with our physical eyes, but also
The
with
energy.
our
Yeah.
senses, the energy. And we are being seen with the energy, energetically.
Yes. And having the ability to see someone, it takes the word love and it makes love look like a sandwich. I love you doesn't carry the same energy as I see you. And it's interesting because I was using that expression, I see you, long before Avatar came out. So either they thought about it and I caught it in the things, but long before the movie came out. But that is one thing. When they said that, I'm going, ah, they're using my phrase, because they see the soul. They are in communication with your energy, not in your persona, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
Right.
So, are you ready for questions? I have some questions today. What's for you?
Yeah.
No, I'm just
Yeah, my
kidding.
seat was getting hot over here. I guess it's time for. Okay, I will do my best, and the ones that are a little too hot to handle may get thrown right back at you.
Thank you. That makes me feel very comfortable. I'm just joking. So here, because how do your relationships influence your energy and spiritual growth? And are you consciously exchanging energy or unknowingly being drained? So reflect on the energetic dynamics in your connections. Are they nourishing or depleting?
Wow. Um, I just happened to be able to handle that one because I lived through it just a few days ago.
Yes.
And
Yes.
yes, the 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 energy that I was feeling, of course, was affecting the energy around me, which then affected me to make, you know, decisions that were not really for my highest good. When I bolted this energy towards this person, then she responded and interacted. And as we're doing this, yes, I felt physically drained because it
Yes.
was like, like this. And yes, you can physically feel when you're going through one of these dramatic things. And uh, and there again, when you're involved in the exchange and the energy is being drained, and then the negative energy is coming this way and everything else, and it's this energetic, you know, situation that's going on. That is when you go, okay, I have the tools. I can
Yeah.
go into my happy place, my place of
Yeah.
calm. I can
And that is a part of
rethink this.
it, it's a
Yes.
part of mastery, right?
Yep.
And you cannot come to that place without having interactions during your path, right?
Exactly.
Because otherwise you're not going to expose yourself to those blessings or challenges, right?
Correct. Correct. So, um, and I love these experiences because uh, I guess I have learned how to take them as an experience and not chalk them up as I'll never do that again. Oh, this, and put the negative stuff on it. I go, okay, that was interesting. Um, it was an interesting outcome, and it's still going to be playing out. But how could I have done this a little better? So instead of attaching and taking it personally and laying guilt on myself, realizing that in the dynamics of timing and divine order, that happened, and
Yeah,
and now what did I glean from that? And then
exactly.
let it go. Let it go.
Yes,
I, I'm
exactly.
not going to hold on to that. I've got too many other things that I have to hold on to.
Exactly. And that is a big part when you don't attach yourself to something like that.
Nope.
You go through it and then you release it and you're done, right?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
And that is a mastery to do that.
You know,
And it feels great to do that, right?
it really does because I could relate the story to you today, and there was no emotion. I didn't feel angry. I didn't feel upset. I didn't feel anything because it was as if I was reading from a script. And this happened, and then this happened, and that happened. And when you get this is what is called the detachment. You don't detach from the world. People think you have to detach from everything. No, you detach from the outcome. You detach from the energy that's taking you there, and you look at it from a different perspective, as if you're reading somebody else's story, and that
Yeah,
is detachment. You know,
exactly. Exactly. And that is beautiful because it's so common in our world that people they hold on to something like that.
right?
I'm not going to talk to that person anymore. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to. But who does that really punish when we are unwilling to release and forgive? It doesn't mean, and I think we both said this many times before, forgiveness and releasing, it doesn't mean that we say what you did is okay, is right.
Correct.
It means that we detach from the energy because if we would feed the energy, that's going to grow. It's like a snowball.
Oh yeah,
And we also tend to create energetic bonds that are unhealthy between us.
yeah.
Your action and what you've done is that you didn't let that come to that place.
And that's now I have an interesting question for you
Okay.
in cause and effect. You wrote that question. Did that allow me to have that experience? Whoa, we won't go into that, but you know, that
Yeah,
was it.
maybe because
Yeah,
we're into acting
maybe
too. Yeah.
that set up the dynamics so I could have something to talk about. Well, thank you very much. What is your next question, please?
What steps can you take to create more balanced, uplifting relationships that reflect your inner truths and support your evolution? Consider how your connections mirror your spiritual journey and how you can align them with your authentic self.
Oh,
Ju-
that was about
juicy questions.
that was about 7 questions in one. Um, Aligning yourself allows you to stay in the flow, and it's difficult to stay in the flow when we live in the world. But being able to recognize that you're kind of drifting and coming back um, allows you to stay on purpose. And I apologize. What is the rest of that question?
I'll read it again. It was a long one. What
Yes.
steps can you take to create more balanced, uplifting relationships that reflect your inner truths and support your evolution?
Okay.
So,
Let's do
yeah,
that one. Let's just take
yeah.
that part. There again, all the things that we are suggesting that you do, the 4 agreements, reading the Celestine Prophecy, finding your self love, finding your authentic self. This is going to allow you to get into the flow. Okay, what is the next part?
Consider how your connections mirror your spiritual journey and how you can align them with your authentic self. Do you want me to answer that one?
Yes, you take that one.
Okay. Because, each and every step in our lives every day, every day is a brand new possibility, and it actually is. It's
Yeah.
new, a new day, a new future, a new beginning, a new now. And it may feel harsh sometimes for people, but we have choices to make. Cause and effect, choices and consequences, right? And when we are in our authentic selves, that means without being rude to anyone or without um, calling someone names or anything, sometimes we feel like I'm not really in alignment with that person, so I can make a choice. I don't have to take responsibility. If I'm not mean, rude, or call them any bad stuff, I can choose not to interact with them if it feels draining, right?
Yes.
Um, but I've been in a position too where I actually had to. Um, I was presented with a straightforward question because I had someone that was a little bit difficult, and I stated it multiple times. And this was a client, and I said, I can't help you with what you want. I can't do anything for you. Yeah, well, I just want to talk. If you just want to talk, that's fine. I can be here. But I can't do what you ask of me because this person wanted spells and things of that nature. I don't do that. I don't
Yeah.
touch things like that. And kept calling um, 2, 3 times a week for a period of time. And then I said, I'm going to do something not manipulating someone else's energy, but I felt drained. And I'm going to close my energy for anyone who wants to use my energy, the door thing,
Yeah.
without my conscious consent. And that's it, basically. It's very, very powerful. And the next day, client called me and said, do you really want to talk to me? And I said, I can't really. I tried to be nice and answer in a good way, but she put me in the corner. And I said, I would prefer not to because I cannot help you. I feel
Exactly.
when I cannot help you because they pay per minute, it feels unethical for me. And I told her. she didn't call again. You
Yeah.
know, there are always ways we can manage situations. We don't have to obey to anything, because when we do obey, after a period of time, we find ourselves frustrated. And that's when we for sure is going to be not being humans. We are going to be like the Stone Age people, right?
Yes. 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 Beautiful.
Coming out from
Beautifully
the
answered.
cave.
Beautifully answered. Yeah. And yeah.
Do you want to answer that one too?
No. Okay. Was that a question, or was that part of your? Ask me again.
Okay. Um, Consider how your connections mirror you, or we take the next one, maybe. We take the next one.
Okay.
I have three more questions for you.
Whoa. Okay.
How can synchronicity and intuition guide your interactions, helping
Oh.
you recognize when a relationship is helping you grow or holding you back?
Okay. Well, the first thing, as we always suggest, is you've got to get a trust in your own self love that allows you to really uh, believe and know that you are being guided by your intuitions and the synchronicity of things. Synchronicity puts you in proximity with something that is going to be able to happen. You may show up at a store or in front of a book, and synchronicity has kind of guided you to this. Now your choice is to take it. That's where your intuition comes in, and you're going through and you go, oh, instinctively I'm being drawn to this one. This is the same in a relationship. When you start finding, and this I think is a good guide, when you start finding that you are losing your authenticity and allowing another person to be always telling you where you should go, what you should do, and you're not able to rely on your own self, this is a relationship that is not balanced energetically. And looking at that and saying, how do I really feel honestly when I'm with this person? Do I feel a little ill at ease? Do I feel drained? Do I feel overwhelmed? This
Yeah.
is your intuition guiding you that this is not a relationship that is healthy for you.
Yeah. And at the same time, I'm going to state something very bold.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to try. Sometimes we have a clear answer from within. Don't go there, don't do that, don't meet that person, don't interact. Other
Right.
times, it's more fluffy. We don't get that clear sense, right? But
Yeah.
don't be afraid of interacting with people. Maybe that when we don't get that clear answer, maybe that's something there we need to see,
Yes.
right?
And trusting enough that when you do see something to look at it and to uh, take it to mind and try it on for a little while and see if it works. And you know, trust
You
yourself.
are going to, yes, you're going to love the next question.
Oh,
It's
okay.
Korean, it's Korean written all over it. So, what does it mean to truly see someone and exchange energy authentically? And how can you cultivate relationships that honor this sacred flow?
Uh, that's interesting because I couldn't really tell you when I first began having that uh, deep connection with another person. I think it's something that evolved. But when I do, uh, there is an understanding that we are connected on a level that is beyond anything that you can comprehend. There is a synchronicity in how we speak to each other. There is a feeling of that person always wanting the best for you, and not telling you what to do, but allowing you to be able to find it yourself. Uh, that inspiration, that confidence in, um, I appreciate you, and I'm here for you, and I also appreciate what you're doing for me. This is where that I see you starts growing, and
Yeah.
and then it becomes where it's almost each breath I breathe, they inhale, and it's like the what they do in yoga, where I breathe, they inhale, they breathe, and I inhale. We are exchanging energy. We are exchanging particles of our being
Yeah.
when you're doing the yoga. But when you become so cosmically connected, it's as if not only our DNA, but the actual cells in our body are charging at the same time. I
Yeah.
To me that is the most beautiful thing that I can just say to someone is when I see them.
Yeah. And that's beautiful. And you taught me that. And I love that because it's so true. You know,
It's
it's fantastic. It's something else. It's coming from the universe itself and the power from all of us,
yeah,
you know.
it's beyond emotion, it's beyond feeling. It is something that is just a known factor. It's like I said, it's just it's there. It really is
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. And connected to the question, this is just a comment. Explore the depth of presence and mutual respect in your connections. And it comes down to that, right? Because when you say, I see you, that means that you see the person as they are. You don't try to change them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I see you. Your personality is 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 uh, is there, and that's beautiful. But more than your personality, and more than even how you perceive yourself, when you really see someone, you're seeing the depth of their potential, and it is it is something that is so uplifting, because when you tap into that, there is almost this there is this energy flow between the two of you, and it just keeps growing. In the Celestine Prophecy, I liked it when I saw the movie. I mean, it's different than the book, but it kind of gets the story across. But they were able to show how the aura around people um, interacted, and how if you were with somebody that was dominating you, and you could see the tentacles just coming and they're sucking the energy out of you like that. Now, when you are in a really I see you thing, I build my energy, and then it flows to you, which allows your energy to expand, and it flows to me. And then it allows my energy to expand more and flow back to you. And it just keeps growing. And that's when I say I see you, Anna, that's what I'm feeling.
I know. And that's what I feel for you too, because we
Yeah.
have a wonderful energetic exchange.
Yeah.
It's beyond this reality and world, for sure.
Yeah.
I see you.
I see you too.
So,
Okay.
last question. How can you use your cosmic connection to foster relationships that align with your higher purpose and divine guidance.
Okay. There again, it all comes to how much are you willing to learn about yourself, love yourself. Just learning about yourself and saying, "Oh, well, I shouldn't." That's not learning about yourself. Embracing who you are, enhancing your potential, enhancing your authenticity, and staying true to yourself. Um, these are the tools that you need if you're going to engage with anyone else. And I would like you to add to that because there's something missing that I know that you can bring into that.
Yeah.
See, there is that connection. I know you
Yes.
have the rest of that answer.
Okay. Um, I think it's doing your best. And the best we know, since the four agreements differ from time to time, even within the same day, 1 hour I be at my highest, and the next hour maybe I'm a little bit tired or whatever, right?
That's true.
So be nice to yourself, but also just be your authentic self and dare to release all that doesn't feel in alignment with you. Do so without judgment. There's nothing wrong with doing it, right?
Yes.
Because we can't hold on to all and everything because there are expectations that we should do. And I worked kind of hard on that part. It has to do with family for me.
Always,
Uh, I'm,
always.
gra- I'm grateful for it because it did shape me. Um, so sometimes you just need to detach and stop trying to fix things
Oh, yes.
because, and that is a woman's thing, I think, many, many times.
Yeah.
We, I dare to say that because I'm a woman, right? I'm just
Well,
kidding.
hey, you know,
And we are um, considered, and maybe our role, it's sometimes it's biology as well. We are the ones who give birth. We are the caregivers, right?
mhm,
Men are the ones bringing uh, food and stuff to the cave, and this is how it had been working, and it's
yeah,
kind of natural in that sense, right? Then we're living in a different society today, but I think we still hold on to certain things. We are the glue in the family. We're supposed to fix relationships, we're supposed to do so many things, and I've been there too. But you can't, remember that all relationships are two individuals, right? So you can't come all the way here all the time and trying to either obey or fix. You need sometimes you're going to walk all the way, other times the other person going to come to you, but most of the time somewhere in the middle. But you can't make yourself flat or change yourself for someone else. And there's a lot of fear going on in that part too, because people state a lot of times that, okay, I know what I have, but if I'm going to leave what I have, if it's a relationship or family or whatever,
yeah.
am I going to end up alone for the rest of my life? No,
Yeah.
no one is going to do that. But if you put the framework up and say, okay, if I do that and I'm fearful and I put the frames here, I'm going to be alone for the rest of my life. You already set the boundaries. Does that make sense?
Exactly. And
Sorry.
being in a especially in a relationship, sometimes one person's when you start really living in sync, sometimes one person's intuition is a little stronger than what you're feeling. So you go with that one. It doesn't have to be you're right, I'm wrong. It's just, okay, well, this feels like a better avenue to do it. And that is that inner cooperation and that trust of each other. And you're right, fear is a great motivation for keeping people from moving into a healthy relationship. I've been working with a friend and a client, and very, very toxic relationship. It literally is physically killing her. She keeps saying, but I can make it work. But
Yeah.
I mean, she physically has colon problems. She's physically uh, unable to digest food properly, and now the latest thing is that she's carrying a big burden on her shoulders, and it's not going away. This thing, and when it becomes where it's not a obvious medical situation, you got to start looking at what the energy is doing. And yes, we are
Yeah.
very, very amazing creatures. But yeah,
Yeah, we are. And I think that that fear probably comes from how we're raised, expectations. If I don't fit in, I'm going to be an outsider. I'm going to go against the stream,
yeah,
and I'm not following what everybody says I should do, right? Um, this journey to grow yourself and understand yourself and find yourself, it's a tough one. It is,
yeah.
but you feel, the joy you feel when you walk it. No one, I've never heard anyone say to me, well, I regret I started. No one.
That is true. That is true. I just had an epiphany as we were talking, and I am envisioning this entire community that is filled with all of those um, older, wonderful women that were afraid to leave bad situations, and we're all living happily together. No trauma, no drama, no wars, no conflict, and I'm going, whoa, wouldn't that be peaceful? And uh, are you done putting me on the hot seat, or are you going to fry me a couple of more shots here?
No, we finished.
Okay. Um, Before we end, I would like to just say a little bit about intuition, because um, it's something that you start really feeling. And as I said, it's not just a lucky guess, but when you start really becoming aware, uh, your awareness is heightened. You become fully alert. You become filled with anticipation and excitement that something amazing is going to happen. And these are kind of indications that this is intuition. You may have a brilliance of clarity that engulfs your whole body, and it's kind of like a tuning fork, and it gives you a higher focus. You find that being in your center, and when you're quiet, you might look up and go, oh, well, maybe I should write that down. And then half an hour later, you've written all these wonderful words that come out. That's because your higher connection is guiding you. And when you start to trust that, then you still make bloopers every now and then, because every day we do our best, but you're able to recover from them. You're able to learn from them. And as children, we always used it until we were taught that it wasn't real, and that we needed to use our brain instead of our heart and our gut. And when we embrace this incredible force that we choose for ourselves, we begin to use the gifts of synchronicity, intuition, and inspiration.
Yeah.
And we continually develop our contact and connection with the source, the oneness, the field, our divinity.
Beautiful. Wow. Beautiful. Are we ready? I'm thinking about making a few announcements on where to find us, and then we
Absolutely.
can wrap
I,
it up with the last.
I think my seat's cooling off now, so I can sit in it for just a little bit while you wind things up. It was beautiful. Thank you. I love it when you put me on the spot, and uh, because it allows me to go deeper into my own awareness. Thank you.
Thank you. So find our past episodes at angelplaceonearth.com/upcoming dash past or youtube.com/at angelplaceonearth/streams. Slashes and dashes. So we're making a joke out of that, right?
Yeah.
Our next upcoming show, next Wednesday, August 20th, with Cosmic Sis-Stars and Corinne and Anne, is going to be, we talk about beyond the old story, deep dives into transformation. So see, that is our own topic, right? So we're not doing the Celestine Prophecy, but everything is always a chain. And
Yes.
we don't sit and ponder what are we talking about. So we just make a plan. That's how intuition works, and it flows
Mhm. Yeah.
even with life itself. And again, Cosmic Sisters, me and Corinne launched a 12-part series in May this year, where we dive deep into the Celestine Prophecy by James Redfield. And throughout this year, I think we reached to beginning or middle of November, we will explore its insights, 12 insights and real world applications, because even if it's written a long time ago, it's so very accurate. Okay. Real world applications culminating in a full summary of all revelations. So join us for this journey. Don't be shy, guys. We love being here with you. You can connect with us, find upcoming shows, past episodes, read articles, find Kareen's phone number and everything else, and find me at angelplaceonearth.com/cosmic guardians. And there you can see where to go to past episodes, upcomings, and Kareen and myself and everything. We always go live at youtube.com/at angelplaceonearth/streams or live. And we stream the replay right after the show at facebook.com/cosmic guardians. So now we come to the beautiful part. Thank you for tuning into Cosmic Sisters with Corinne and Anne as we explored Insight 7 from the Celestine Prophecy. We are reminded that every relationship is a sacred dance of energy, an invitation to grow, heal, and awaken. Keep seeking the synchronicities, honoring your connections, and trusting the flow of divine energy that moves through us all. Until next time, stay radiant, stay aligned, and keep shining your cosmic light. We'll
Yeah.
meet you in the stars. We see you, we hear you, we honor you. Cosmic hugs and soul waves. So,
That's
what do you want to say?
you summed that up beautifully. I just want to say to you, dear sister, I see you, I appreciate you, and I am honored to be on this journey with you. Thank you.
Ditto, right back at you.
Yes.
I'm over the top honored.
Yeah.
So, thank you, everybody, and see you next week. Bye.